Hey, what's up everybody? BDF 44 coming into another video. I'm going to try to keep my voice down because it's 2 in the morning and the only thing keeping me from being absolutely silent in here, from being absolutely silent in here rather, is my fan. So, um, yeah, this is a therapy session. Now, we won't be talking about myself on this one. We're just going to let my brain kind of freestyle. And if I happen to speak about myself, that's one thing, but that's not where my mind is. I'm thinking about just this concepts. I've been watching online, and forgive me if my camera isn't um, clear. I'm in the dark, so it's an audio experience. But anyway, you guys have seen these before on my channel. My mindset is that of a person who's been paying attention to different things online, and just trying to wrap my mind around different concepts that are coming about from the Buffalo, New York shooting, and different things that they're telling us to pay attention to. And I don't know, your mind can go down a rabbit hole if you allow it to. So I figured rather than let it continue to do that, just turn on the camera and be a bit more productive, I think. So my mindset is, when I was listening to people who were talking about Tucker Carlson and his replacement theory, which is what many are saying is the motivation behind the shooter in Buffalo. My mind started to not necessarily go into whether or not that was something I wanted to look further into or get educated about, but more into something that I saw in the comment section while I was watching one of those videos. In the comment section, it said, "It's mighty funny when you type in Tucker Carlson on YouTube, you come up with 6 or 7 CNN links before ever getting a Fox News link." Now, mind you, I don't think one way or another of either one of these two networks. I'm not a political person. I don't follow politics, and I don't even know that I have all the stuff in my head to give me the best opinion about certain political points of views. So I try to steer clear of that stuff these days. But what I can speak to is this concept. If I believe that someone is behind the scenes gatekeeping, so to speak, making it so that I see certain things that maybe I agree with, should I not be just as offended as if I'm being force-fed things that I do not? Not from a standpoint of being annoyed, of course, right? Because clearly I want to see what I want to see as opposed to what I don't. I'm not making a ridiculous statement here. I'm trying to basically say, if the people that I agree with, the morale aligned with me, those who are morally aligned with myself, if I'm to agree with them on any level, one thing I do not want is for them to force feed my message to the people without giving them any opposite point of view, any balance, or what have you. And the reason why that is because my opinion and my views are ever evolving. I don't agree with some of the stuff I may have agreed with when I was 20 years old. At 37, I may have new information that might have molded my entire point of view on certain subjects that otherwise I was married to in the past and would have died on the hill without the information I now have. The point is, because I've seen the fruit in having myself be checked, seen the fruit in having my opinions be balanced, seen the fruit in, or rather just being wrong and having lived through being wrong, I think it's important to allow room for that in regards to our messages and the things that we subject our, the people that are around us to. They should have a balance to the things that they see. It shouldn't just be the stuff that I agree with, is what I'm saying to you. Or because I believe in my religion, I'm a man who believes in Jesus Christ. I'm not of the mindset that you should not be able to praise who you praise or believe in what you believe in. Now, in my religion, I may actually believe that you are wrong for praising anyone else other than the one I praise, right? I may actually believe that. And within my religion, I may think that you need to be punished. Like, that may be my belief. But there must be a balance to understand that within that understanding, within that belief, within that truth, comes the notion that other people have truths as well. Other people have beliefs as well. And if they were to enforce those beliefs in action, they would impose on my beliefs, and we would no longer have peace. Do you understand what I'm saying? We would no longer have peace. Everybody believes something. Everybody has truths. Everybody has evolving opinions or ever-changing points of views. Maybe they're enlightened to the point of believing that they should be cross-checked and given opposite opinions. Maybe they believe otherwise. But the point is, whether they know themselves to be possibly wrong, whether they know themselves to be someone who could be possibly wrong, whether they believe themselves to ever have any flaws whatsoever, is irrelevant, because the rest of us understand the wisdom that they may or may not have, and that is, they can be wrong. And because of the presence of them possibly being wrong, the presence of the next person could be wrong too, and so on forevermore, from person to person to person. So what I'm saying to you is that just because I believe Christ is Jesus and the Lord and all of that I believe in, does not mean that I feel it should be law that you are force-fed that truth. I do not believe that. That I agree with maybe some views that I see on CNN does not mean that I think the world should only see CNN links when they are looking up something that has nothing to do with CNN. Not limited to CNN, obviously, but they are the perfect example, seeing as that this topic of what we're talking about here. I got on this camera to try to figure that out. Try to figure out if I were in a world where it were necessary. Let's open up into a different space here. Let's go a little deeper. Let's say we were in a world where it were absolutely necessary for our survival, whoever R is. Let's just say it were absolutely necessary that certain people, or everyone even, get a certain message. Or otherwise it could be a problem for everyone. I don't know. Let's just take it all the way to the extreme. Let's just say we need to force feed information to people. Should that not be something you should consider maybe being wrong, even if the message can be universally understood as right? Even if it's something that should say, I don't know, save everybody's life, like maybe a vaccine. Shouldn't it be considered, in terms of whether or not someone should have a choice or whether or not they should take it? I think this was the grand conundrum we just ran through with the vaccine. I think that's the big equation that we never quite seem to figure out. And it's the same kind of situation we have here with information as it pertains to force feeding it on everybody. Let me use this example. I think it'll make more sense if I do it this way. I got a generation of hateful kids, but they're still young enough to reach, right? They're still young enough to reach. And the best thing I could do is give them the truth of my history. I could tell them about all the stuff that I want them to know, right? But I don't give them the other stuff, because if I give them the other stuff, it'll reinforce in their head what's already there, which I feel should not be. Now, whether or not I'm right or wrong for thinking that they should be in their head, I'm not cross-checking that. right? That's a key component in all of this. I'm not cross-checking that. I'm not questioning myself on whether or not what I think they should know is right for them. All I know is that what they know isn't what should be in their head, right? Just follow me. Because that's how these situations often go. These people don't cross-check themselves. They're just looking at who they want to change, who they want to manipulate, and who they want to teach what to. And then they go forth without even wondering whether or not they're right for doing so. And they operate this way, and they force this information on others, and then they influence others with that information. Others run with that information in ways that they don't intend for it to, and they do harm with that. They attach to it what should not be, their own extra aspects to the situation. And that's what ends up happening when you give everyone a blanketed thing, whether it be a truth that they can run with, that they'll pervert in their own different way and try to mold to make what it is that they want it to be. Or we can look at it differently and say, maybe you give the vaccine to this body and it might help them, but if you give it to the next body, it may not have the same effect in their body, because we're all different. And there are things about each and every human being that we're still learning. So how can we possibly assume that one vaccine is just going to help everybody the same way, when literally nothing works that way as it pertains to the relationship to environment, to the human body? But let the presence of desperation be pleasant, and we forget, or rather choose to ignore, these aspects. The presence of a, say, COVID pandemic, or the presence of a, say, fleet of messed up minded children, or whatever example you choose to apply this to make it come together. I think the point is, we need to figure out if force feeding what's best is what's best, based on the fact that we could be wrong about what's best, based on the fact that we have been wrong before, even when we thought we knew, even when we were ready to bet the farm on everything, even when we had all our ducks in a row. A new variable may come up and change everything. New truth may come up and just change exactly what we're looking at, and now suddenly we need new things for new situations, or for rather the same situation. One size never fits all. One truth is never what's best. Suddenly what we knew isn't what's true anymore. And so if we're not leaving room for that, we're certainly going to be misled. We're certainly going to allow for people who understand this to take advantage of us and continue to lead us in different directions that don't help us, that may blanket us into situations that only help few, or some, or none. I think this Tucker Carlson situation and everything that happened in Buffalo was horrible. I say Tucker Carlson situation is in the replacement theory that planted the seed that may have prompted the man to do what he did. All of those different degrees of separation that I can't prove. No different than saying Grand Theft Auto prompted someone to go outside and steal someone's car. I don't know. Rap music prompts somebody to go outside and join a gang. I don't know. Yes, no, of course. I think it all is true. I think it's possible. I think it's the environment we create with each and every drop of every one of these seeds that we plant in this earth. Every single thing that we do, it contributes to the overall abundance that we can draw from. That's why I leave videos like this out here, because even though I don't have a lot of followers, I can contribute the message. There needs to be some balance out there, just in the name of power being in words. You know what I mean? Words have power whether anyone's listening or not. And these type of things, we need to at least give credence to as we continue to move forward as people. Because we know there are entities out there who understand these things, but we also understand the great majority around us does not. It's the reality of it. We're manipulated by people who understand certain things we may not be privy to. They know that one size doesn't fit all. They know that the vaccine ain't going to help everybody. They know that if they put that out there will be a few people who will act on the replacement theory, that will act on various concepts that are out there, that will act on the rap music, that will act on the video games. There's a mind out there for everything. And if the wrong mind gets attached to the wrong inspiration, they will do the worst thing ever. So when you do anything, whether you put a seed out there, plant a seed to say this, or tell a person that, or do something while someone else is watching in this way or that way, you best believe you could be inspiring somebody to do something drastic. It's possible. I think that's the point. I think we all need to live our lives understanding that. Not to shuck and jive and run from that responsibility, but to understand it and know it. Especially now that we're in a world where everybody has cameras in their hands. Everything you do will be an inspiration to someone one way or another. So with that being said, I don't allow myself to just ignore the fact that certain things do carry weight. That if I tell everybody, hey, go do this, that someone actually may. So what I'll say is this. I don't want to force feed nothing on anyone. If you come here, you've chosen to be here. You've chosen to listen to me, and I encourage you to listen until you're done. That's the reality of it. And I think you should do that with everything that you're involved in. Guard your mind, guard your thoughts, protect your energy, however that goes. But understand that there's always going to be entities out there who are going to want to manipulate the circumstance. They're going to want to rope you in together with others so that they can get you all together and do a certain thing, or pay your money a certain way, or vote a certain way, or love a certain way, or hate a certain way. You must be willing to do the critical thinking for yourself. You may have to look past about 6 or 7 links before you get to the thing that you're actually looking for, because there is an entity out there that wants to give you a certain thing to get you to think a certain way. And maybe I align with what it is that they're trying to preach to you, because I think that it'll make us a better overall world if we listen to what it is that's being forced to you instead of the people that you're actually looking for. But that's not the point, because I could be wrong. No different than you could be wrong. And though in the presence of me being right, we might be better. And for the slight chance that I'm wrong, I'm sending you in a direction that's no better than the one that the bad people, or whomever you want to call them, are sending you. Because the bottom line is, there's no perfect way to do this thing they call life, man. There's no perfect way to do it. But I'll tell you this, the energy you put out. You know, the one thing I'll say about this guy in Buffalo is I think he shot up a bunch of people that would have come together to pray for him. If he came to them, told him that he was fighting a demon. I don't know that to be the case, but I'd imagine it is, with more than half of those people he shot, because those were church people, elderly people that had no intention of replacing him or taking anything from him or allowing anyone to take anything from him. And that's the sad part about all of this. When you get caught up in these different concepts, whether it be something I agree with or not, you got to understand that it can prompt you to do things that don't necessarily align with what it is that you're actually trying to receive in life. I'm listening to people talk about how they're worried about being replaced by people that have no interest in taking anything from them, while they're being manipulated by people who haven't figured out that the only thing that's going to get them what it is that they're actually looking for is the opposite of what it is they're after. They should be trying to mobilize their way to show love to others, come together as brothers to try to help people who don't look like them, to take that energy that they feel and that fear that they fear and come together and turn it into something that'll make somebody care about them. They were never taught how to love anybody. That's how you keep yourself from being replaced. Don't deserve to be. You look around, you have more numbers than everyone else, but you're worried about being replaced. Why is that? Could it be because you've done things that would make you small? Is that why you feel so small? It's because you've done stuff you know that would bring back that type of energy. Nobody who's being praised for all the love that they put out is worried about anyone taking them or replacing them or harming them. They're not, because they know they're protected by the loved ones that love them, the people that they feed, the people that they take care of, the people that show them appreciation, the people that they warm to will run through a brick wall before they let anything happen to them. You ever thought about teaching your kids that? You teach hate. All hate's gonna do is make people want to torture them. That's what you're being taught. You're taught how to bring forth the same pain that you ultimately bring to the world. You're ultimately taught how to implode without even given a chance to show exactly what it is that'll give you the respect that you demand. These are lies. Lies told for years and years and years by people who didn't love one another, who wanted to use their hate for one another in a way that wasn't spot on. So they used it in a way that would point it toward other people, when all they did was really destroy themselves, make everybody hate them, make them the enemy of the world, and ultimately make them feel like they're gonna be replaced, where they never get appreciation for what it is they contributed, because it was too busy doused in the hatred that they seethed in, that they sat in, that they bathed in. They never understood that it was love that would get them what they wanted, not hate, not conquering, not torturing people. It was surrendering to the fact that, yes, maybe you don't have this, maybe you do have that, but what's going to get you what you want is being cool and calm and warm toward people and merciful toward people and unselfish toward people. That was what was going to get you what you want. Not the hatred, not the defense, not the, oh my God, everybody's taking something from me, not the, let me turn them into this, not the, I don't care about nobody but myself, not the, go get it for yourself mentality that a lot of y'all harbor. I'm not going to help you, do for yourself, pick up your bootstraps, stand alone, be alone, you hate me, I hate you, we're all scared. It doesn't work. That's why you're constantly paranoid, you got so many enemies, because you've been evil to everybody. It doesn't work. At some point it has to stop. But as I say all of that, I'll tell you the truth. If you take the last 7 minutes of what I said and you force feed it to everybody, you'd be dead ass wrong. You'd be absolutely wrong. Not because I think I could be wrong, but because of the presence of the fact that there's new information that could come my way that would make me wrong, even if it doesn't exist today. See, the reality is it's not about being right or wrong, it's about leaving checks and balances so that the presence of being wrong can always be checked. It's no compromise when everybody's accounted for. Or rather, there's no absence of compromise is what I'm saying. Nothing can be compromised is the way of putting it. The word can be used many different ways, but I think you understand what I'm saying at this point. It keeps everybody honest. My message is what's right for me. My message is what's right for us. My message is what's right in my head. That's just my opinion. I don't know if that applies to you in real life. I don't know if that actually applies to you. Maybe if you take what I say, apply it to your world, it could put you in a different position than I found myself in with those very same things. That's love over here. It may not be love over there. That may put you in danger. One size does not fit all, no matter what it is, no matter how perfect it may look, no matter how many different places it fits, there's going to be somewhere it does not. Take that for what it's worth, man. That's my therapy session. That's my brain letting it loose. Whatever was said was said. It didn't mean nothing. It may have meant everything. I don't know. I just wanted to get out what was in. That's what this therapy session is about. I send condolences to all who was affected by what took place in Buffalo. And with my rhetoric, I meant nothing but love and respect. I hope I made some sense. I think I did. just want to get to a point where we can all live in the presence of balance. We don't have to necessarily cancel one another. We don't necessarily have to dismiss one another's concerns. And if I remove my emotions, maybe I can find some truth in the idea that you could be getting manipulated while disagreeing with me. Because that's the overall abundance of what it was I wanted to bring to this camera today. Just because we may have a disagreement, you and I, does not mean we don't have a common enemy that sees our circumstance and wants to maneuver it against us. That is the truth. And if I'm so caught up in the idea of my perspective being the only perspective, and that our fight being the only fight, me looking at you as the only thing in the room, then we could both find ourselves in the same trap. We could fight down there together. That's what I want to keep from having happen. That's what it is that I want to guard against. That's the seed I want to plant onto this planet. That was the meaning of it all, I guess. So, I hope it's received. My name is BDF 44. I thank y'all for watching, and I'm out.